Hello everyone, sorry that it's been like longer than a week since I uploaded. Obviously I don't have a lot of time at the minute and I am trying to film, so today I'm just gonna film a load of videos, and if you can hear banging from outside, it's the very loud maintenance guys that always work there every single morning. That's what I wake up to. This is my life now. Anyway, recently I fell into a bit of a deep dark hole on YouTube. I started watching a load of paranormal story times and lots of paranormal videos. I don't know why, and yeah, basically I haven't been sleeping very well for the past few weeks. So then I started thinking about all the paranormal experiences that I've had in the past, and I thought maybe I could do my own video on it, considering it's coming up to Halloween, so I have an excuse to make a spooky video. So why not? Even though I hate Halloween. Okay, so immerse yourself, sit in a dark room if you're not a wimp like me, and I hope you enjoy my little story. Now this is the only paranormal experience that I've had that I personally cannot explain, so that's why I've kind of called it a paranormal experience. I experienced it with my friend in her house, which is notoriously known for having a ghost. A lot of things have happened to her in the past and also to her parents, so it's pretty validated that there's something strange going on. Whenever she was in the house by herself, she would always have to have someone with her. She would have to ring up one of our friends and say, please can you come and sleep over my house because I cannot sit in this house by myself. The impression that I got of whatever was in the house was that it wasn't necessarily friendly. I wouldn't say it was evil or malevolent in any way, I just think it was very mischievous. It liked to play. It was definitely a poltergeist as well, which I will explain my reasons for thinking in my story. Basically, a lot of stuff had happened in the past. They'd heard voices on the baby monitor screaming at her younger niece to shut up while she cried. A woman's voice, by the way, they'd always heard. My friend had said, this only happened a month ago I think, my friend said that she was walking along her hallway and there was a mirror at the end. She looked in the mirror and saw a woman run out of her room and down the stairs. In the corner of her eye, like she actually saw the figure of a woman run. Now obviously she was by herself, she's the only person that can vouch for seeing that, but after what happened to me in that house, I don't really have any reason to not believe her. Basically this happened about a year or two ago, I think probably about 2 years ago. We were just having a pizza night as we always did. Her parents were out, they were literally like in a pub over the road, like not even very far. Yeah, we were completely alone in the house and we put on our favourite film, Rocky Horror, which for any of you that don't know that film, it's definitely not a horror film. So we weren't like psyching ourselves up and making ourselves scared, we were just having a nice night. We didn't even think about anything to do with paranormal things, we were just having pizza and watching a film. At some point in the night she did stop the film and she was like, you know, today I've been hearing a lot of things, that's why I asked you to sleep over tonight, I didn't want to be by myself. When my mum and dad first went out, I heard like banging and people running up the stairs, so I needed someone to come and sleep with. And at the time I was like, oh great, like I have to spend a night in this house now and you've just told me that. So I was like freaking out obviously, but because I'm a good friend I soldiered on through and I said, you know, it's fine, it'll be okay, I'm sure it'll be fine. Oh, naive me. So basically we were about halfway through the film and I'd been hearing a lot of noises. We were sat on her loft bed and we were like watching the film in her room, and the staircase is like right outside her room and I could hear people like as if someone was like walking up and down the stairs. I kept hearing like that, like just two like knocks one after the other, and that happened like quite regularly. And I think it was kind of the case where we were just not wanting to acknowledge what we were hearing, because not only did we want to admit to someone else that we were hearing it, I don't think we wanted to admit it to ourselves, we were that scared. And then there was a huge bang on the staircase and I don't think we could ignore it anymore. She slowly went to grab the remote, paused the film and like just kind of sat in silence for a bit and like listened to what was going on outside her room. None of us spoke for at least like a solid 10 seconds, we were just listening. And she kind of slowly turned her head towards me and was like, did you hear those noises? Have you been hearing what I've been hearing? And at first I just kind of like gave her a look like I don't want to admit to this. but I just kind of nodded and was like, yes, I've been hearing those noises, they've definitely been happening, and I'm definitely crapping myself right now. So obviously you could put like bangs and noises down to anyone, you could put it down to neighbours, so even though we were both kind of on edge, we just kind of continued with the film and pushed it to the back of our minds, and even though we could still hear the noises in the background, we were like, right, just don't even think about it, just don't acknowledge it, just enjoy the night. Because I think things get worse when you start acknowledging something's existence and you start being afraid of it. So we were like, right, let's just ignore it. Apparently this spirit did not like to be ignored. It got continuously more playful throughout the night, and it definitely felt like it was playing with us and taunting us all night. Now this part of the story requires a little bit of context. So basically they have 3 dogs, 3 small dogs, and they have a little room downstairs in the hallway where they sleep at night, and they get locked in. There's a bull on the outside and they have to lock them in every night because like they chew, and they have like all their beds in there. It's a proper little room, and we made a point of locking the dogs in there before we went to bed. We always did it. I did it sometimes for her because I'd slept at her house that many times. I knew to lock the dogs in the room. So we locked the dogs in the room hours before we went upstairs. So anyway, we were upstairs watching this film, it finished, and we were like, we both need to pee before we go to bed. So we didn't want to go by ourselves, obviously. So we came out onto the landing and we ran to the toilet together, we peed, and we came back and we made a point of also turning on the light on the landing, because we didn't, obviously we wanted like a little bit of light. It always feels better when you have a light on for some reason. So we turned the light on the landing. So the light on the landing was on and the dogs were supposed to be in their room. However, we were walking down the hallway and I remember hearing the dogs running around downstairs, and like I kind of put it to the back of my mind. I was like, it's probably just my imagination, it's probably nothing. And then she heard it too and she was like, why are the dogs out? And we looked down the stairs and we saw the dogs were running around downstairs in the little hallway bit. They'd gotten into every room. We'd shut the living room door and the kitchen door and the bathroom door. Every single door was open. The dogs were running around in every single room and their room was open too. Now we had bolted that door, so something had had to open the bolt to get in. Now at this point obviously we were thinking, is it a human? We were freaking out thinking that there was like an intruder in the house, because in our minds the only way those dogs could have got out of the room is if someone had physically opened the bolt. So we got even more scared. I was kind of on the verge of tears at this point because I am a huge wimp. I've said it many times on this channel, I am such a huge wimp. I'm so interested in the paranormal, but when it actually happens I'm like, nope, 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 nope. We were like mulling it over for a while. We ran back into her room, we bolted the door, and then we were talking about it for a little bit, deciding what to do. In the end we ended up getting a screwdriver. I don't know why she had one in her room. And we got the plunger from the toilet and we both decided to go downstairs because we had to put the dogs back in the room. They weren't allowed to be out. We had to shut all the doors. So like, right, we're just gonna have to do it. So we got plunger. I had a plunger, she had a screwdriver. Don't know what I was thinking I was gonna do with a plunger, but whatever. We were walking down the stairs. Obviously no one was there. There was no intruder. There was no one else in the house with us. We checked every single room, we checked every like cupboard, just everything. There was no one in the house. So we kind of just like quickly put the dogs back in, bolted the door, shut every single door downstairs and went back upstairs. Now the landing light was still on, remember that. We left the landing light on for a reason, because we wanted to have a little night light in the night before we went to bed. We were sat in her room, we were getting ready to go to sleep, and I went out to go to the toilet again, and I decided to brave it by myself. I think some hours had passed before anything had happened. We hadn't heard anything for a while, so we were like, right, okay. So I went to the toilet, out onto the landing light was off. This landing light was turned off. I went to the toilet. I was really tired and I was like kind of hazy, so I didn't really notice it at first. And then as I walked back into the room, my friend turned around to me and was like, we left that landing light on. She was like, I made sure we left that light on. Well, when we went out into the landing, we then realised that all of the bedroom doors had been left wide open, and they were bedroom doors, so it wasn't as if they had been left open by like her parents. Her parents always shut the door and bolted it from the outside, and the little girl's room were always shut anyway. They always shut the doors, so this thing had opened all the doors and turned the light off, and it was basically just another way to taunt us, I think. So we turned the landing light back on, we shut all the doors, and we went into the room. We were like, right, we're just gonna go to sleep. Like, there's nothing we can do. If we feed into it even more, it might get worse. So we said we'll just go to sleep. Now this last bit, this ending bit, really, it still gives me the chills, like, to this day, because this is, everything else can, like, probably can't be explained. Like, I can't explain it, but someone could probably give reasons for everything else that happened, I'm sure. This, I genuinely don't know how anyone can give a reason as to how this happened. She has a bowl on the inside of her door. Now, every single night she bolts herself into her room. Doesn't matter if she's scared of like any spirits roaming around or anything like that, she bolts herself in her room every day. Like, she just does it. It's because she has young kids living with her. She doesn't want them running in when like she's asleep in the morning and they get up really early. So she always bolts the door, and she knew that the kids were coming back in the morning, so she bolted the door. She also said, I'm bolting this because I want to keep whatever is out there out of here. We need to like lock ourselves away from this thing. So I wake up in the morning, and obviously she has a loft bed. So I look over the side of the loft bed, and there is her 6-year-old niece standing on the floor looking up at the bed. And I wake my friend up, and we both look, and she starts laughing, like uncontrollably laughing. And we were like, what on earth is going on? And she was just like, I got in your room, I got in your room. And she was like laughing, and she ran out. My friend just kind of turned and looked at me, and she was like, we bolted that door last night. None of us had got up in the middle of the night. We were both too scared to get up in the middle of the night, so none of us had unbolted the door. It was as if this thing was trying to tell us that we couldn't bolt it out, and it was gonna get in either way. It still scares me to this day. We still talk about it to this day. We still don't know how the hell it happened, and yeah, it's still one of my only paranormal experiences that I can say I definitely think is paranormal. Definitely. I can't explain it any other way. So that was my little spooky story, just in time for Halloween. Let me know if you enjoyed it, and I don't know if I'll do many more of these in the future. I just kind of wanted to do it as a one-off because that's my only real scary story, I guess, and it's perfect time to do it, so why not? Thank you very much for watching. Please leave a comment if you enjoyed it. Also leave a comment if you have any explanations as to anything that happened. I would love to hear your opinions. If there's any skeptics out there, I'd like to hear them, and I will definitely respond to them all. And yeah, I will definitely see you next week because I'm pre-filming something right now. So see you then. Bye!